to fire.
Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's Monday, November 10th, and we're this close to a government reopen, but it's not going to be as soon as everyone thinks it is. Yesterday on X, everybody was talking about government's reopen. No, you probably still have close to like 3 to 5 days before we're going to see the government reopen, guys. Breathe. Just breathe. It's not happening yet. Matter of fact, we got a lot of red here this morning on the market open. Looking at the daily, we do have a little bit of green there, quite a bit actually. But yeah, we're seeing some sell-off happening now in the past hour. Market's not looking the greatest, but it's okay. It's okay. We've always got a plan for we got a plan for whatever direction it goes. We have COA 1, COA 2, course of action if this happens, course of action if that happens, or since it's OG Monday, as Alex always says, if this, then that. So I've done the opening. That's this. And so now we go to that. We'll see you guys on the other side. Classes in session. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Market Report here on the Piper Academy Network. As always, brought to you by Chart Prime. When you need a cutting edge in the industry, get the cutting edge indicators. Chart Prime, where wells are made. Right there. There you go. Advance your trading, I think, is the slogan. But welcome everybody to the show. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff that we got to go over today. We are seeing a little bit on the chart there. We got a little bit of action going on, sell off here. We did get some indicators down here firing, saying, hey, we're probably going to head back down. I'm watching 104.232 right now. So we'll bring this chart up in a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring it over the chat. I don't have OC today. No OC. He is over in Cozumel, and he forgot to take some cables with him. He's kind of sporadic like that sometimes, all over the place, but that's all right. Let's go see who all we got in the chat. Alexandra G, the mod queen. Appreciate you being here, lady. Always. You guys know if you come back and watch these shows, these live streams, and you'll see that there's nice chapters in there and everything's broken down. You can go like right to the section you want. Alexandra G. She's the one doing all that. She's amazing, and we love her. So appreciate you, Alexandra G. Dylan VA in the house with us. He said, you can give a shout out to everybody. Look at him. Dylan VA, community member, man. Love it. Steve Hickey's in here. Donato Cabrera. Who else we got? Not a whole lot. Al Jr., what's up, man? How you doing? He said, good morning. Blessings to all. Shout out to all for sponsoring, AOL for sponsoring the stream. AOL, that's funny. They're funny. You got jokes, don't you? Yeah, he got jokes. Who else we got in the house with us today? Anybody else in here that I've ever missed? Oh, yeah, Robert Mulligan. Appreciate you being here, bro. And JR, Wave Cypher. What up, homie? What's up, dude? How you doing, man? Wave Cypher, guys. Trader extraordinaire. Wave Cypher, you broke 1,000 subscribers, correct? Can we get a link for Wave Cypher? If you guys are not following Wave Cypher, you guys need to go follow him. He's crushing it over there, and I love it. So, yeah, let's go get into the chart first, and then we'll get into the news. We got a lot of news to break down today. It was a crazy, crazy weekend. Oh yeah, Buck. Dang it, Buck. Buck said, good morning and happy Marine Corps birthday. Buck, I'm sorry, dude. I was actually going to play a Marine song this morning for you and the Marine Corps, my Marine brethren, and I forgot to load it up, man. So my apologies. What's up, Dano Crypto? Ada Ace, 8 Breath, everybody coming in now. Lloyd, Roger, Spencer, classes in session. He said, yes, it is. It is. Let's go get into the chart. And let's go talk about what we're seeing over there, and then we'll come back, go through all the news. We had a crazy weekend of news. It was unreal. Lunar Beach Crypto, what's up, bro? All right, taking a look at the charts here, guys. We do have this little level that we are pulling back below. That's going to be your value area low. This is based off of your fixed range volume profiles that go way back in the day. And you can see right there, nice little volume node. We got a big one down below us still that's running right into the platinum pocket here between the 786 and the 887. I do think that our best hope today that we can go for is that this weekly resistance that we had here, which was all beneath that 786, is now support, and we get a bounce from here. That would be bullish in my opinion. Would also set us up for, we got low, higher low, higher low, So you see higher high, maybe a higher high. But I pointed this out yesterday, something that I'm watching for, even if we do get up here, guys, we got a couple of key levels here that are aligning. They're aligning a lot more yesterday than they are right now, but we do have the dynamic reactor here, and this can play as resistance quite a bit. This is coming in right at this golden pocket range. So, of course, that is a key level to reject off of. Golden pocket, it's going to be your 618 to your 0.66 GAN level. 107,769 to 108,948 is that range. I'm watching the 0.66 here, though, at 107,800, we'll call it, in line with that dynamic reactor. That would be one level. And then the point of control, which was our last major resistance that we had back here several times here. Just it's a majority of the support and resistance is playing here on volume. It's going to be our biggest volume node here, right there. That's going to be your volume nipple. But yeah, I'm watching this, seeing how this turns out, because that's coming in right with the quantum reactor. And you can see, as we discussed up here, we actually called a rejection here because we turned red and then that happened. So I'm watching. I'm watching for support at 104,232, rejection at 107,800. Look at all those pipers. 2Dub, those are called alumni. Those are called alumni. But you can call them pipers because I love the Wicks. So, CJ Taylor, my bro's in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Yeah. What else? Did I miss anybody? Spreadsheets. I don't know what you're talking about, Lunar Beaches. Spreadsheets. I've had enough spreadsheets in my life. I use it for my bill tracker every month, but that's about it. Darren does things. Holy balls. What's up, DDT in the house? Little Fish. Steve Hickey. Piper, can you check my question at the beginning of the stream? If I can scroll up that far, what was your question? I have a question. Are you required to have a VPN to use leverage on an exchange in the US? So leverage is not legal right now. Okay. And so if you verify yourself on any exchange, KYC, you're probably not going to be able to use leverage unless they're just in blatant disregard of trading laws in the US. Okay. But CFTC this weekend came out and said that they're looking at some regulation on that. So maybe it's coming to America, but I don't know. I mean, at this point, we've got gambling everywhere we turn our heads, so why not add more gambling? But I personally don't think it's a good idea. I don't think that everyone needs to have firearms. I don't think everyone needs to have access to leverage trading. It takes training, it takes discipline to have those things. Okay. I'm going to put them in the same basket because one can end lives and the other one can cause you to feel like your life is ending. Okay. And so, yeah, I think that it requires some training and discipline. So I don't know that it just needs to be willy nilly here. Everybody gets access to leverage. You get leverage and you get leverage and you get leverage access. So, but yeah, that's the answer to your question. That's the answer. So, all right. Let's go talk about the news. Let me get that news set up. Let's do that. And then we got a lot to go over in the news side today. So let's jump to news. And of course, I don't have it set up here. Shout out to all the Otter gang that's joining us in here. I see all the Otter gang. We got 129 people in here right now. So 130 actually. So appreciate the Otter gang joining us in here. It's OG Monday. I got my OG shirt. I got my OG coffee mug. And you can get all of this too on the Otter Gang, alexocrypto.com. Alexandra G, can we get a link drop for that so everybody can get the cool swag from the Otter Gang? I should have a merchant store. I don't know why I don't. It sounds like work. And Alex O is way more dedicated to work than I will ever be because I'm retired. And I do this because I'm trying to help people. Alex O does this for the same reasons, but he's younger. That's what we'll blame it on. He's younger and hasn't realized that he just needs to chill out. Alex O, you need to relax more, bro. Relax more. Shout out to Alex O and the Otter Gang. I appreciate you guys being here. All right, let's go talk about news. Let's get into this. Let's break it all down. Looking here at the metrics from Into the Cryptoverse today, guys. Total crypto market cap coming in right now. Let's refresh it. I want to make sure that that's correct. Yeah, it is. $3.534 trillion is the crypto market cap right now. Looking at that trend line, we're at 4.639 trillion, currently undervalued about 23.82%. It looks like we're going to try to make a run back at that median line, that fair value. That's the red line on here. That's currently coming in at about 4.63. So, yeah, 4.639. So, we'll see. Every time we've gotten close to it this cycle, it has been a rejection. Get out of here. That's what it's done. Look at the current risk bands on Bitcoin. Current risk levels at 47.8%. And we did drop all of the stuff this morning for the Piper plan for the DCA. So if you're in our Discord and you're a member here on YouTube, you have access to it. It is the Piper plan for our dollar cost averaging, and we're doing quite well. Matter of fact, with all the sell-off that we've had, right now I'm within $100 of break even with the DCA that I started after we hit 126,000 and I took all my profit. So I took all my profit, started DCAing on a weekly again. So yeah, right now within $100. Matter of fact, let me see what the percentage is. I'll tell you a percentage because $100 doesn't really tell you much, does it? 1.54%. I'm within 1.54% of break even still with DCA. And ever since we hit $126,000, I took all my profits and started DCA immediately again. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. It's working. The plan works. Just follow it. Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin dominance right now with stable coins. We're sitting at 59.24%, staying right around that 60% dominance level, guys. Not really seeing a big shift in that. Without stables, take them out. We're at 64.63% right now. How about altcoin season? A little better than it was last weekend, but guess what? Still not alt season, guys. We're 44. We have a little bounce up here. We hit a low here of, what was the low there? Like 35, 36, something like that. And now we're at 44.44. But currently, neither Bitcoin season nor altcoin season as of today. I got a lot on X to go over. Let's see what these new notifications are. I want to see this. Oh, look, Alexander G posted my posts. Appreciate you, lady. Government shutdown ends. See, look, I love Blockchain Crusader, but this is problem. Government shutdown did not end. It's not over. And I went off on this. Stocks moon on government shutdown ending. Okay, that's a potential. He doesn't say it's done, at least. How many sniper balls? Coinbase launches offering. Okay. Wait, what? Offering platform. No clue. No clue. Anything else here? No, we're good. All right, let's go to my bookmarks. I want to make sure there wasn't anything important in there coming out. So far this weekend, what did we get? Trump announced, oh yeah, this one, 50-year mortgages. We're going to talk about this in a little bit, probably right after this. Trump announces $2,000 stimulus checks coming from tariff money. We got Trump saying insurance money should go to the people. I don't disagree with that. Trump says tariffs will begin paying down U.S. debt. We will see. And then Trump says no more money to insurance companies. 2026 is going to be a wild year. Facts. Wild years ahead. We're going to talk about that 50-year mortgage, though, because it actually is a horrible idea. Key events going on this week. Markets react to the $2,000 tariff dividend on Monday. U.S. government shutdown enters day 41 as of today. And NFIB small business index data is coming out on Tuesday, and then OPEC monthly report on Wednesday, federal budget balance data on Thursday, and then 9 Fed speaker events this week. Expect another volatile week ahead, especially if we get the government reopening. Why? Because we got a lot of reports that have not come out that we've been waiting on. And yeah, we could be getting them. Matter of fact, there's a little bit of a hint that we may have actually went up on unemployment numbers while the government's been shut down. We're going to talk about that. I've got it in here also, and X marks the spot today. Fear and greed today is currently sitting at 29. Bitcoin is in fear mode right now, and it has been staying there. Of course, Michael Saylor has bought more Bitcoin this weekend. Strategy acquired 487 Bitcoin for about $49.9 million, coming in at about $102,557 per Bitcoin, and achieved a Bitcoin yield of about 26.1% year to date. So his average price on Bitcoin, $74,000 right now, and no real risk of him getting liquidated, by the way, because it's all in convertibles. 2028 is your biggest window. What's up, Melissa? BC Port Corp. Yeah, there's no other word to describe 50-year mortgage. Now, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, BC. Gold back above $4,100. I'm not sure what it's at right now. I think it is still over 4,100, though. We'll look at that in a second. But yeah, gold extending a little gain there this morning. Copper set for a historic shortage. I was hoping OC would be here today because you know that man loves to trade copper and talk about copper. Guys, we have a copper shortage coming in America. Copper market expected to face its most severe deficit in 22 years in 2026. Approximately 590,000 tons shortage that they're going to be having. The deficit is expected to widen by 2029 to a whopping 1.1 million tons. This comes as global annual copper production is on course to contract for the first time since 2020. Major disruptions of the production have impacted mines worldwide, with operational issues at several major mining sites exacerbating the supply constraints. At the same time, demand from AI data centers and electric vehicles, power plants to run data centers to run AI needs a lot of copper. Copper miners have already struggled for years to keep up at the pace for surging demand. High copper prices are here to stay. Guys, I think copper may end up doing a run on the precious metal side. May be something that to look at getting into, especially with all the data center and power supply. I'm probably going to end up picking up some copper myself. Eric Ball and Wallen, if you're in here, that you might want to check that out too. And I know BC is going to be plugged in on that because he wants all that stuff that's power related. Well, guess what? Copper, copper is going to be needed for all of that. And if they got a shortage, supply and demand, squeeze pop. Let's go. That's how we're going to be watching that. My old friends love copper. JR said, yeah, hey, it's good stuff, man. Especially if you're like stripping it out of a house as they're building it. Just saying. Be watching for that. Golden Child, this is good news. I have like 10 5-gallon buckets of pre-1982 copper pennies just begging to be melted down. Hey, it's going to be worth more than your penny's worth, I promise you. Republicans and enough Senate Democrats have reportedly reached a deal on continuing resolution to temporarily fund the government and end the shutdown, which has been ongoing now for 41 days. 41 days. It's the longest shutdown in history. However, the deal would still require approval from the House, which Speaker Mike Johnson has refused to bring into session since the shutdown began, with many House Democrats stating that they will not accept the deal proposed by the Senate. So there you go. Matter of fact, I want to talk about that. We'll go ahead and jump over here. Here's the problem, guys. So we know that it gives back pay for all the furloughed federal workers and that they're all going to get their jobs back. Full year of funding for select departments, Veterans Affairs, military construction, agriculture, so on and so forth. Funding through fiscal 2026 for SNAP. So all the food assistance is going to go out. And then they also promised, they didn't say they would approve it. They promised that they would vote in December for the ACA. That's the care, the tax exemption, the tax credit for the American Care Affordable Care Act. Okay, the ACA. So that's going to take place in December. It is not in the current approval that they did, but it's still got to go through. Mike Johnson has still got to go through John Thune. The big problem is up here. Let me find it here. The next step, reopen the government. Okay. Yes, the bill for continuing resolution must pass both the House of Representatives and the House Senate. The deal is to fund the government through, December, right? But here's the problem: House resistance. Well, the Senate appears to have passed or advanced a version that would reopen the government. The House is not yet on board. The leadership has indicated resistance, especially among certain Republicans, and it may require a near unanimous Republican vote to pass given Democratic objections. You stated that correctly, but emphasize the House position is still very fluid. So even if they go in and the House says, okay, we'll go with this. We looked at it. We debated back and forth. We'll vote for it. Then they have to package that up and they have to send it to the president, right? And then he signs it. So what are we looking at for time here? I got a timeline in here. Where's the timeline? Where's my timeline? There it is. Best case scenario. House passes the bill as is. Trump signs it immediately. We're looking at 3 to 5 days. today being day one. So Wednesday to Friday, right? Moderate delay, the House adds riders or waits for caucus approval. You got 7 to 10 days. Worst case scenario, we could get a deep GOP split in the ACA dispute. I don't think this is likely. It's not the most likely course of action, but definitely the most dangerous course of action, right? That's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's 3 to 5 days. That's what I'm thinking right now. But all these people that were all over X saying the government's reopen, not a true statement. Not a true statement at all. It is not over to the fat lady sings, and she is not even, she's still drinking tea in the green room. She's not even on stage, guys. So settle down, settle down. All the pump that you got yesterday, probably not sustained because we've got what? Hey, a lot of politics to go through, okay? Delicious coffee. OG coffee mugs make coffee better if you don't know. All right, unemployment. This is what I was talking about earlier, too. U.S. unemployment likely rose again last month while the government was closed. How convenient is that? The Chicago Fed estimates that the unemployment rate increased to 4.36 in October, the highest since October 2021. The increase reflects slower hiring as well as a higher rate of layoffs, quits, and retirements. It's also influenced by the government shutdown. As a result, the unemployment rate has now risen by a full percentage point since May 2023. Meanwhile, the U.S.-based employers announced over 1 million layoffs year to date, nearly matching the pace seen in 2009, according to Challenger Gray. What was 2009? That was after the we were in the Great Recession, guys. So the U.S. labor market needs help. And I want to point something out. It takes time for data to get from I'm unemployed to here's an unemployment number, okay? So all of these people that were laid off and furloughed that may have went and filed for unemployment or any type of assistance where they could, guess what? Not in the data. So we might actually even see another bump on the unemployment as that number comes in and then goes away and it goes down, right? So we got a problem with job numbers for sure. Looking right now though, about 3.9 advanced and final, both coming in pretty high, and then of course 1 million layoffs year to date. Not doing too well. Another thing that we had this weekend, stimulus checks are back. President Trump just announced the tariff dividend, a payment of at least $2,000 per American. We expect 85% of U.S. adults to receive this, resulting in about $400 billion handed out. All as U.S. debt nears $40 trillion. What's next? Let us explain. Problem is, we haven't made $400 billion from tariffs, and there's a possibility that the Supreme Court's getting ready to tell them, you can't have your tariffs, they're going away, and you got to pay back the money. So is this just a leverage play for Trump? Who knows? But let's go in and see what he's saying here. Go back. Baby, come back. There we go. What's up next? Let's explain. This morning, President Trump made the below announcement. A dividend of at least $2,000 per person will be paid, excluding high-income people. The economic implications of such a massive stimulus-like payment are huge. Huge, especially with markets at record highs. First, who will be receiving this payment? Let's take a look at the most recent stimulus payment, March 2021, $1,400 stimmy checks. Full payments were only made to single filers making up to $75,000 or households making up to $112,500, married earners making $150,000. So that would probably be the threshold that we would look at again. Now let's apply the same criteria to 2025. Currently, there are about 220 million U.S. adults who fit in this income criteria. Top 15% of the earners would be excluded as high income. 220 million times 2,000 is $440 billion, and the check would be larger, could be larger than $2,000 if approved. These payments come at a time when the wealth gap is at record highs. So in quarter two, 2025, consumers in the top 10% of the income distribution accounted for about 49.2% of total U.S. spending, meaning that those under the bottom side not spending that much. 49.2% of the economy riding on the back of 10% of the U.S. income makers. So this marks the highest level of data going back to 1989, and there's a big problem here. As seen in 2021, stimulus checks massively boosted spending. However, the one-time boost is followed by a long period of high inflation. Inflation. We just talked about job numbers. Now we're talking about inflation. Following the last round of stimulus, U.S. inflation neared 10%. Now inflation is back on the rise at 3%, and more stimulus is coming. I don't know who's advising the president over there. Probably nobody. I'm sure he's not listening to anyone anyways. But yeah, this is not what we want to see with our job numbers being as bad as they are, because again, we're going to go back into it again, stagflation. And then let's talk about this. Trump posted about a 50-year mortgage. 50-year mortgage equals lifetime debt. The average buyer, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come over here and we're going to stretch this thing out. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. Let's talk. I'll bring you guys up here with me. So let's talk about this for a second here. Crypto Princess, what's up? The average home buyer right now in America, anybody know the average age of the home buyer in America right now? Drop it in the chat if you know. And then they're talking about a 50-year mortgage on top of this. Okay, 40. There you go, Isaac. Isaac, you get a gold star sticker today. 40 with a 50-year mortgage. You're now 90 years old, okay? 90 years old when your house is paid off. Secondly, another big problem. How long does the average homeowner stay in their home? Let's see if anybody gets this answer right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm giving you guys a second to put it in the chat. We got a little delay. 8 years? Close. 10, 12.9. If you guys don't know, 12.9 years. So a little bit all over the place there, but some of you guys are close to it. Isaac had 10. French Toaster had 15. That's pretty good. Yeah, 12.9 years is the average time that someone is in their house. On a 50-year mortgage, you're not going to hit your amortization until you're not going to really start putting money into your principal. There's an amortization chart, and it goes, here's how much is going to interest and how much is going to principal over the term, right? You're going to not hit into where you're actually putting any decent amount into your principal until about 32 years on a 50-year mortgage. So yeah, everyone's going to be upside down. The slightest dip downwards, you're going to be upside down underwater on your house. You're not going to have any equity building up unless just home prices going up, which isn't going to be that much because you're not going to be paying anything to principal. And then so you're just going to continuously be in debt. Also, if you're to do a 50-year loan and you decide that you're going to refinance, if you do another 50-year loan, your date starts over. You don't just refinance to a lower rate. You got closing costs and all that stuff. And then they begin again on a brand new 50-year loan or 30-year loan or whatever it is that you refinance over to. And you start the amortization at the top again. So your money's never making it into principal and equity. This is dumb. Matter of fact, you might think that it might lower prices because that's what the intent is. The intent is, hey, if we can't get home prices down, then maybe we, make it cheaper for them to do that. But here's the reality of it. I got to find it here. I got it. here. Hold on. Two common scenario have to be a home loans. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. I have it in here. Oh, I know where it's at. 50-year mortgage. I have a whole project for it. There we go. Let's come back over here and let's show this. So this is the 50-year loan. I want to show you guys what happens. So yeah, you've got a 6.22% rate, right? On a 30-year loan. They're going to have to add more to it for a 50-year loan. You're not going to get the average national loan rate on a 50-year loan, right? Because they have to carry your risk even longer. And so it's going to be higher. So 6.52 is what Pam estimated here. On a 30-year loan at $480,000 home at a 6.22%, you have a P&I, that's your principal and interest, of $2,929 a month. Guys, look at your 50-year term for the same house with the 0.3% higher interest rate on a 50-year. It's $2,849. You saved yourself less than $100 $100. We don't need 50-year loans. What we need is cheaper housing. This isn't going to help anything. We need cheaper housing. I watched the thing yesterday on Graham Stephan, and he brought up a great point about, look, if you want to make houses cheaper, don't do a 50-year mortgage. Anyone who takes this is out of their mind. Okay. He said, if you want to do it, raise the capital gains exemption to $1 million. That's going to make people that have had their homes for a while that don't want to sell because it's going to be more than $500,000 profit, right? Which will trigger capital gains taxation. If it's $1 million, they're more likely to sell, which will push houses back onto the market, right? And supply of homes lowers prices of home, right? That's just how that works. So, yeah, that's 50-year terms is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Let's jump back over here. What else we got? We got some other stuff here. Yeah, there's that. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, oh yeah, here's the mortgage. Here's the interest rate on that, by the way. On a $400,000 mortgage at a 7% interest, a 30-year mortgage, you would pay $558,000 over that 30 years on your mortgage for interest. On a 50-year, you would pay $1.1 million in lifetime interest. You would pay double the amount over a 30. So you would think that to beat that 30, to double it, you would think it needs 60. Nope. In less time, you double that amount. Yeah, guys, don't ever do a 50-year mortgage. God's sakes, please don't. That's horrible. I think that's all I got on X marks the spot. When's the government going to reopen? We just talked about this. 3 to 5 days, right? 3 to 5 days is the best case scenario. Yeah, even Kalshi is still showing November 13th, guys. That would be Wednesday. No, that'd be Thursday. Thursday is when they're predicting the highest likelihood chance that we reopen. So not happening there yet. Stock market, man, we're like deep into the news today on X marks the spot. I apologize, guys, but there's a lot of stuff to go over that you guys need to know about. Yeah, but look, Bob Franklin, he said targeting naive people that only look at the monthly payment. There you go. The problem is that the monthly payment is not that much cheaper. It's less than $100, and you're going to be on the hook for way more money over, than what you're thinking. You're not even going to get any money into your equity. You're just giving the bank money. There's a reason banks have skyrise towers in every single downtown in America. Billion-dollar towers. They don't produce anything. They produce nothing. That's your money at work. So yeah, that's why. 50-year mortgages, they'll have 10 more stories on that bad boy. Let's go. All right, look at that stock markets right now. TradFi side, guys. Where are we at right now? U.S. market is sitting right now. Dow Jones up 0.25%. The S&P is up 1.18. Nasdaq's up 2%. Nasdaq's looking pretty good. Matter of fact, Nvidia calls coming in even higher. They're calling for targets on Nvidia up. It's up 4.7% today. Palantir was just up there about 8% or something like that. Russell 2K. This is your small caps up 0.84, and the volatility index kind of chilling out right now. How's the bonds market looking? Hey, look at that. What do you know? 10-year yield going back up. That means mortgage rates are going up too, guys. Oil sitting below $60 means economic demand is down. And then gold above $4,100 again. Silver sitting at almost $50 again. Copper up 1.47% today. Platinum and palladium both up over 2%. Precious metals making the move. Government shutdown could be headed. We already talked about this and broke that down. That horse has been beaten. Citi lists Nvidia's price target heading into an AI giant's earnings report. This is coming up on the 19th. So we're about 9 days away from Nvidia's next earnings call. The bank maintained its buy rating on the graphics processing unit manufacturer and lifted its target price to $220 per share from $210, signaling a 17% upside for it. I don't think Nvidia is going anywhere. We talked about this a while ago on the show, guys. This is the place to go. It's going to be the center of everything that everyone wants to do right now on the tech side until the AI bubble busts, which I don't know that it will for sure. So last 24 hours, we had 124,931 traders get liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $336.5 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on Hyperliquid as a Bitcoin trade for about $19 million. No big deal there. How are we looking over here on the crypto side? Bitcoin's up about 1.8%. Ethereum pretty much flat, up about 0.5%. XRP's up 9.4%. Other big movers today. Let's see here. Big movers, big movers. Stellar Lumens up 7.5%. HBAR is up 9%. Monero down 8.1. Interesting. Chronos up 4.5. World Liberty Financial. Good Lord. Somebody call Trump. Tell him chill out. Up 29.4% today. Ave's up 5%. I think that's about it in the big movers down here. Where is Zcash? Zcash down 4.8%. Nice, nice. I am in a short on Zcash right now, by the way. Let me see here. Come here, Zcash. Let me get in here. Let me get in here. Up 10.8% right now on my trade. So, 10.35. 10.35% upside right now on my short. I got in it at 600, no, 600, yeah, 640 bucks is my short entry. So, yeah, not bad, not bad. Fed watch tool, how we looking here? Are we going to get rate cuts in December, sir? Yeah, starting to move up a little bit here. 36.4% chance that we don't get a rate cut in December. Returns history. How's November looking for us? How is November looking for us? We're down 3.93% here on the monthly right now. Of course, if we pull back down lower, we'll talk about that in a second. Look at the chart. Is that it? I think that's it. Yep, that's it. That's cool. Let's go over to the chart and check that out. And let's talk about these levels over here. So, guys, we did not trigger a weekly MVP bar. I'm looking at the 1 week Bitcoin chart here on the oscillators. I've been watching for us to get a bright green candle here. That would indicate, hey, we've bottomed out, right? Not getting that on the weekly at all. What about the 3-day? Did we get one on the 3-day maybe? Yeah, we got one on the 3-day. But you can see when we get those on the 3-day, it's small up to resistance and then back down again, right? Small move, hit resistance, back down. I would watch 109 maybe here, maybe if we're lucky, to hit this median line here, this delta median line here on the predictive ranges. But as of right now on the weekly, we have not triggered an MVP candle, and that kind of gives you a little telltale sign there that, hey, maybe not yet, bro. Maybe not. Of course, we have in the past gone down here and haven't gotten any, but on the weekly, maybe if we put this over, let's put this on something with a little more history. Let's go to this index here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we fired it back here on this pullback back in September 2023. We fired it when we were doing the 50% drop down in March 2024. And then again, we fired it when we hit our bottoms back in March 2025, April 2025, once we hit the bottom there, January sell off into April. So not firing off the bright green candles yet. Tells me maybe a little bit more pain coming before we get this move to the upside. I will say, though, we did hold phase line 52, holding for us well, guys. We did break down beneath on a weekly, beneath the 52 SMA, but we've wicked back up and look at the beautiful candle bounce starting right on that bad boy. It actually gapped. Guys, we gapped to the 52 for the weekly candle to open, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, right now, phase line 52 is holding. We do have TLDR. This is going to be our dynamic reactor for the daily. This is actually going to be a little bit lower now. Let me go there, unlock that, and bring that down because our dynamic reactor is, oh, wait, dynamic reactor is there. There we go. We do have a dynamic reactor coming in at about 110. That is going to be a line in the sand there for us. And then we've got the bull market support band getting very wide and fat up here. But I will point out, when the thing crosses over and we start to get this very fat, thick bull market support band, that does lead us to go, okay, maybe the bottom is in also. But it could also be one of those scenarios like back here where we started to fatten out and we just went lower and lower and lower, come back in, rejection off the 52, and that's it. So don't think that it's over yet. we're looking a little more bullish today than we were last week. But overall, I do think that we need to keep our eye on the ball and be cautious, because on the 4 hour we do have the overbought. We did get the downtrend arrow. We are turning into a bearish ribbon, and money flow is about to flow back down despite volume coming in. Again, 104, 232, hold that level. Maybe we get a bounce, but I am watching again 108, 107 to be another level of contention for us. So, um, guys, I think that's about all we have time today. Look up the troops moving forward, looking at that next line. Yep, it's true. I'll give the mortgage back and take for supper. Fair is fair. Piper and JR head to head. For what? I don't even know what you guys are talking about over here. I got to go look through the chat. Jesus, banks profits of usury. Usury is a sin. They'll need a first mortgage first. Yeah, well, that's what he's trying to do. He said this would help first-time buyers. Yeah, by putting them in debt for 50 years. That's how you do it. Pay down 30-year to make it a 15-year or invest in it. BTC. Exactly. I would start off with the 15-year mortgage. I didn't have that choice in this house that I'm in because it was a loan assumption and it was already a 30-year loan. I couldn't change anything on it. But yeah, I would prefer a 15-year mortgage if you can afford it. It will help you out immensely. Um, with the current rates, I would say, because it's a substantial price difference from 30-year to 15-year at Baba Yaz. That's a difficult question. Let me think about that for a second. He asked, his question is, would I pay down a 30-year mortgage to a 15, or would I do a 15-year mortgage over a 30? And then where's his comment here? I'm going to bring it up on screen for you. Baba Yaz. Yeah, or invest in Bitcoin. There you go. At this point right now, I would probably focus on the mortgage. Okay. If it was the bottom of the market, I would be looking at investing in Bitcoin, because I'm all about protecting gains and I can always refinance later if I really need to, but I can't get back the gains unless I wait and hope that this asset is still the asset of classes in the next run, right? Remember, there was a time that General Motors was the top of the market and it was number one on the U.S. On the S&P Wall Street. There was a time that Walmart was number one on Wall Street. Things change. And if you don't think that they will change, then you're setting yourself up to be mugged in an alley by the next big thing. So, DDT, appreciate you. I'm in a 20-year in the UK, but also put down 25% down payment. Smart, DDT. Smart. I don't even know that most banks are going to pick up and run with the 50-year mortgage, honestly, because most of the laws that exist are written on a 30-year mortgage or less. And so I just don't think that they're going to take on those protections that they lose, or the lack of protections that they lose going with the 50-year mortgage. There have to be a lot of things that get done. I think it's a dumb idea. Dumb idea. Just my 2 cents. But yeah, guys, that's all we got time for today. I had time for more. I just don't have anything else to give you. So I'd just be like dragging you guys along. But we're going to head out of here. No redirect today. Crypto coin mindset. Keith is not live today. So we're just going to head out of here. Let you guys swim along. You guys can just float on down the river to wherever you end up. But we'll be back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. OC guy, not sure if he's going to be live tonight because he just not here this morning. He's missing a couple of cables, so he forgot to take them home to Cozumel from his house in Merida. So don't know if he's going to be live, but we will be doing a VIP session later today in the Discord. So I'll be watching for you guys there. And until next time, trade safe, use some risk management. Don't do a 50-year mortgage. Remember, the government is not open yet, and be ready. Be ready. Don't be scared. Be prepared for whatever happens with these market prices today. Nvidia, definitely buying some more Nvidia though. And I will continue my DCA on Bitcoin like I always have. Everything else, I'll wait for stronger market structure. You guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Peace. I have no outro. Later, guys.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional, damn it.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out, 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 out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude. Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?